This is Joy Ani, scrapping in my own private Idaho, and today I have a fun project I am going to share with you. I will share some new product that just dropped. I will also kind of give you a little bit of a feeling of what Stampin' Up's album retreat was like. I did change some things, and I'll tell you what I changed and why. And I'm actually going to do two layouts with you from this inspiration, and just kind of show you how you can use any project that you use can actually be a sketch for the next thing that you do. So the first thing I wanted to share with you was the paper that I'm using, and this paper is called Gathering Together, and it is a specialty series paper, and it is beautiful. I have a thing for leaves anyway, and I'm breaking out some older pictures. I was going through my pictures trying to organize a little bit. So here's one, and it has the gold, and then this, and I'll be using the back side of this. I will be using this paper, and I'll talk a little bit about how I changed that a little bit. This is kind of my inspiration paper for this layout, and I think that's it. Oh, I didn't show you this sheet, and also, so it's great. It's great paper, and I'll leave that in the item number and my information in case you don't have a Stampin' Up person. So we had an album retreat. Stampin' Up offered an album retreat, and I will say that out of all the things I did with Close to My Heart, the album retreats were my absolute favorite. So it was a lot of fun to do that. So this is from the album retreat. I'll show you the things that I had from album retreat, and I tend to stretch those. Number one, I'm super slow, and number two, it's just fun to use the materials over and over again. And so usually with album retreat, I wind up, they give you like 12 pages. Usually there's 12 to 14 pages. I think there's 12 pages, and I usually wind up making them about 20. So let's go ahead and get started. I did gut my paper. I'm using Cajun craze. So this is what it looks like gutted. And I did that so I could use my other pieces. I'm using, so they had different paper that they gave us, but I'll go ahead and show you. So the wonderful thing about album retreat is it's very technique based. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, and then I'll go ahead and share with you. Let's go ahead, and I think, yeah, you can see me pretty well. I'll just slide this over a little bit. So it was a very fun design, and I have these really old pictures that I absolutely love, and now I'm not even finding my, oh, here's my adhesive. These pictures were taken probably 1993, I believe. And it was in the only house I ever lived, which was in Independence, Oregon. And when I moved into the house, it had a tree, and the tree was the height of my my house. And by the time I lived in that house for 27 years, and by the time I moved out, I would go bicycle riding, and I could see the top of my tree from a very long distance. It was one of the tallest trees. Sadly, the people I sold it to cut it down and I think they made a fire pit out of it. Which the joke's on them, because the back of my house. So when I bought the house, there were no houses. Of course, you know, time goes on, and population and all that kind of thing. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. So the population in Independence, when I bought the house, I bought it in 1987 for, I think I paid $47,000 for it. 9% interest. People complain about the interest rates right now. And it's like, I paid 9% interest on my house. It was on this government program called Farm Home, where you didn't have to have a huge down payment, but they kind of got it back from you when you sold, which was, or refinanced, which was a, a, a thing. I won't go into that because it's just kind of a sad story. It's like you buy a house for 47. Once you start making money, they force you to refinance, and then the interest rate. I think I might have got the interest rate at 6%, but they recaptured the interest rate, and I wound up paying $70,000 for. And I think I'd been in the house 10 years, so I wound up paying $70,000 for the house I paid $47,000 for. But it was still a great, and I loved living there. But anyway, back to my tree. There was this tree in the backyard that I dearly loved, and like probably the only reason I ever really raked. Well, in Oregon it's very rainy, and I love leaves. So when they fall, I don't think of it as a mess. I think of it as, oh, look at that beautiful creation that God has blessed on my yard. This is Misty Moonlight that I'm using on this as a piece, and this was one of the ideas that they shared at Album Retreat, is if you want to just add a splash of color, this is a great way to add color without having the huge investment of another piece of paper. And the other thing too is it can get you to use up your scrap bin. And we know that we all save paper. So that's a real thing. And so normally I give you the dimensions. I think you can figure out these dimensions on yourself, but because it was a paid for event, I don't feel necessarily comfortable in sharing it, although this isn't the most difficult layout in the world. So they also gave us, these, and they had them folded down like this on all of them, but I'm going rogue a little bit, and I want it to go, and this piece, I don't know if you can see this or not, I'm going to lift this up. So what Stampin' Up! Gave us when we got the retreat was, they gave us this piece of paper and we punched out the holes. Well, I looked at that and thought, oh, that's perfect, I'm going to make a layout of that. And so I did. So the scavenger that I am, I just trimmed it out to match my side over here, and you can see this one came from here, and they folded theirs down, but I'm not going to do that today. So I'm going to put 3 circles, which was what they had as well. Oops. I am having one of them. This is also, I saw this also as an opportunity, so they did it a little bit different than me. I'm making a little pocket out of theirs. So they had plain circles. I'm making a little pocket out of theirs, and I'm just going to go ahead and have my tape runner. I'm using this little, this is it's actually a Gemini mat. I thought it was my don't get sticky all over your table mat, but it's actually a Gemini mat. But, you know, it works, and nothing bad can happen. So I'm going to put that here, and it goes beautiful. So this is 2-sided paper, as you can see. So I just traced my circles from my album retreat. So those of you that have the album retreat and you want to use this paper and you don't know how to use it, go ahead and trace this around on your paper, and you can make some more layouts. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down, and I'm putting this one right in the middle like this. So I'm going to take a light hand. The other thing that they showed us that I hadn't done before but I really liked is they had us make masks. And what that was is she traced around here. This is my, no, this isn't mine. I have somewhere, I had a little piece of paper that I used as a mask. I wouldn't want to use my real paper. Well, I might be able to use this because it wouldn't matter. But I used it on scrap, and then you just place it on that, and then you, and I'll be doing that over on this side when I get there. So I have inked this side, and this side just to add a little bit of color. And this is soft sea foam. If I had it to do over again, I might use beige. And then another cool thing from the album retreat is they give you, we got four stamp sets. And I can't even remember, I'm thinking the stamp sets were $250. They're just going to be barking because kids are going to be picked up from the babysitters in just a minute. So you can see these are the 4 stamp sets. We got an alpha set. We got these. And my favorite stamp set are these little small ones. And I'll show you that. I've got it on my block. It is just a little teeny tiny, I call it a foo-foo stamp, which is not very descriptive at all. But it's just a little bit, it adds a little bit of texture. If I hold up my page on this side, you can see that it is, see how that is on there, and it adds a little bit darker. And using the mask just adds a little bit of, I wasn't very dark there. So let's go ahead and put my pictures where I planned them to be. So I'm having this journaling block. I was going to use a PML, but it didn't, it didn't stick up far enough. And I have these really old pictures, and I'm going to, I backed those in espresso. How did I do this? That does not. Well, I don't think I had the blue one. Sorry. Change the scenery here. I'll put this one here. Oh, sorry. He is supposed to be facing this way. And he goes up here, and I'm tucking him right under. I'm coming on this side, and then I have another picture that's facing this way. So you can see that, and this is the old style camera. You can see my pictures are not very good, but that's my nephew raking the leaves. And they were all under. So I always left my leaves. They looked quite messy by the time I was finished. So I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to slide this over. On this, I've got to find my picture. It's on the table somewhere. So this is going to be here, and I'm going to pop dot that up a little bit, and I'm going to put, I didn't have it, but I'm going to add 3 dots right here. When you come on, you'll see the final project, or if you want to see some still shots, you could pop over to Joyani Scrap Into My Own Private Ivanhoe business page, and it will have the completed ones. So let's go ahead and work on the right page, and I will show you. I'm actually going to do the blending. I brought all the things that I can do to blend. I'm going to set aside my 4 stamp sets that I got with Album Retreat. Hopefully they'll have another Album Retreat. I'm thinking it was a big success, and they will. I'm going to move that off to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and add this. If you wanted to, you could sponge this if you don't like white. I thought about taking leaf stamps and doing random stamping, since that is the challenge. So if you wanted to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, sorry little Tweety birds, you could do that. And I can see, oops, I forgot 2 things on this page. Let's go back for just a second. And I'm going to put this here, and I've got to, oh, here's my cute little picture. So this is my daughter. If you saw my grandson, you'd say, I know who that kid belongs to. And I'm going to go ahead and slide that under here. And then see that kind of ties it all together. And I have 2 little tags that go up to the top, and that's the 2-sided. Which side do you think I should do? I like that side. And I also have this one, and of course this is just white thread, and I had some pumpkin thread that I'm going to add, and then I'm going to put this right here. And I'm going to put this little, what do you think about me? This is just tying a little knot, and I think I'm going to add that for just a little bit of texture. So let me go ahead and get a pop dot. If I put it over here, if I've not remembered to do that, I will just add that later. Oh, I do have one. So I'm going to put the pop dot down and put the thread on top of it, and I might add thread somewhere else. This is just a cheap an inexpensive way to add a little bit. And sometimes when I'm working on a layout, I'll want to add something. They're not really done. Because I'm so slow, I actually a lot of times will leave things not finished, and then as I get inspiration or find things when I'm cleaning, I will add them. So I'm going to put this little dot up here too. This is a really fun stamp, and I'm going to, that will be pop dotted. I don't have my pop dots up here right yet. Oh, okay, my nephew's sliding down. I got to put him up there. I thought about, I have a cute little rake that I might add there, but sometimes I just, because I have been working on this layout for, so this is for Title Tuesday and it's Thursday, if that's any indication of how long I've been working on this layout to finish it, because it's been so much fun. So this is, so that is that side. So much better, isn't it? And I need something here. Maybe I'll put, something will definitely go there. We'll see. Okay, so that's the other side. And the album retreats are unlike me. They're totally finished. So here's my other Cajun. I did not get this Cajun craze because of how the circles were on here. And I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to set it down, and then I'm going to put my blue little strips on here that add just a pop of color. I've also put the Misty Moonlight over here, so it's in, if I'm going to use a color, that's why this one I may not leave it. I might switch it over to the Early Espresso, because if I've introduced a color someplace, I want it to be at least 3 places, and I honestly, I don't know if that's a thing or not. Anyway, let's go ahead and glue this down, and I'm going to kind of leave it free. I'm just going to kind of adhere it on the side and leave it up because I'm sneaking things under there. So yeah, so if you have the album retreat, you actually have 2 of these sheets just like this. So you could make another layout. And it was not used in any of the layouts because it's kind of like the negative space. Okay, let's go ahead and use our blue sheets down here. I'm using up, true confession, I love the two-tone paper that Stampin' Up has, but I do have some of the old, so this is not the two-tone, so it's the true color. I don't mind to use it as the background, but when it comes to Cricut cuts, I do not want to cut not the non-two-tone paper. It's very heavy, and so, oops, I'm as crooked as they come. All right. Oh, I think it's because, let's see. Let's get this as straight as, this is why a lot of times I do this ahead because, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's better to be a little bit crooked than have to tear that thing off. So close your eyes and pretend. Pretend that's straight. Okay. I'm not fussy with that. I might have to flip it over. And I have another very small one that's going to go to the top. But if I can't find it, I'm going to move on because this is already 18 minutes long, and I don't like to go past 15 minutes. So I traced the circles like this. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put it up here so I'll know, so you'll kind of get an eye for it. And I love this plaid. Isn't that so much fun? So much fun. And that's one of the pages. It had this, so this one it was not enough of a contrast. So if I would have folded this down, it would have had this, and I wasn't all about that. So what I did was I put 2 together to form my pocket. And for those of you who are coming from Close to My Heart, or maybe you are a customer of Close to My Heart, I am using a P&L card, and these pockets are a great way to use it up. So I got to tell you about this picture. So you'll notice that these kids I have not centered the picture, and most of them are missing their head. So this little boy, who is a giant now, he's not a little boy anymore, he's a grown man. One day he was looking through my pictures, and he was saying, "Auntie, I understand why I'm very tall," and he is. He's like 6 foot, maybe 1 or 2. "I understand why you the pictures never have my head in it, but and then he said my daughter's name, and he said, but she's short, and she doesn't have her head in the pictures either." I was a very bad picture taker. So this is going to be the pocket, and I'm going to journal and put my story in there. And this is the title that I'm sharing today. It's called True Believer. So I live my life as I am a true believer, and I do like to share my faith with others, and so that is the title. You can take it as you just are liking leaves, or you can actually use it and say I'm a believer. So anyway, I thought it was kind of fun, and it's a very simple title. All I did was there was no title that said believer. There might be obvious reasons. I guess other people don't want to be quite as punny as I am. Oh, you know what? I want this to be... I guess I have to have it that way. So I thought about doing that. But this, this title is just a very... And these two things were just things I had on my desk that I added. It's just the words, and then I had this word, and then I moved them together. Then I did an overlay, and it had funky little holes in it, so I didn't like that, so I gave it a double matte, and so that's what it's done. It's a very simple title. If you're interested in doing it and you don't want to do all that stuff, you can just click on the link and it will take you to it. It's not super fancy, but it's what I needed for the day, and so that's what I had. So I wanted to show you their mask idea. So what they do with the mask is I'm going to just take, and I'm going to move stuff. That's why I didn't glue anything down on the side. I'm going to move this out of the way. You go to record, and suddenly all the things that you laid aside that you were going to use suddenly, oh, and just like that, they reappear. So I'm going to move all this stuff off, and I'm going to just set it down, and that way, oops, maybe I'm not. I will just move these things aside, and I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to have it come out a little bit, and that's going to give me my line. So I have I'm trying to create a triangle. I have it here and here. It's not very dark here, and I might hit this one again. And oh, actually, it's supposed to go up to the top so that you have a triangle. You want to move your eyes around. And this green actually is the only place that I have it is on the title and in the flowers. Not flowers, leaves. Leaves, to me, they are flowers. I love them. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. I don't want to... This would have been the cutest picture. I'm so sad they don't have their heads. But they had so much fun. So like I said, until my leaves, what I did, I never threw away my leaves. I was a gardener at that point in my life. I actually, until my chiropractor said, you know, every time you do a big yard thing, you wind up in here. You might want to have a little boy do your weeding. So I kind of did do that. But at one point, I used to come home and I would take my shoes off and I'd go outside and work until it was dark. But I never got rid of my leaves. What I did with my leaves was, I mean, they're so beautiful. Until they got really super soggy, what I do with them is I would And I'm just going to go along here because it's going to give me that little baseline, and then I know how much to add. And that's the little darker part because it shows up a little bit. I'm going to have it come over a little bit farther this way. And I just do a little bit on this mat. I have an official one, and actually then I'm going to cover this up because I don't want to get it on my paper. Okay, so there's that. So I would wait until my leaves were so soggy, because it, like in Oregon, it rained every day. And then after that, then I had a garden, and I would just throw my leaves on top of the garden. So after these guys did all the raking, I went and took them and threw them on my pile. I did sometimes get like tree roots in my in my garden. I also went to there were lots of dairies there, so I'd go and get cow poop and so to throw on my garden bed. So I had quite a large garden at one point, and I really did enjoy being outside. It's harder to be outside now that I'm in Idaho, because I got to tell you, I just cannot get used to working outside when it's like over 90. Actually, anything over 85, I'm such a wimp. Anything over 85, I start melting like a flower. So I'm going to put this up here, and these flowers were just left over from projects long ago. Oh, this is supposed to go down here. So I'm going to, let's finish up, and I am going to put the blue strip, but I'm not going to waste your time while I run around looking for the silly thing. So I'm going to put these on here. The layout that I'm going to make next follows the same design. I'm actually using it for a calendar, and I use the circles instead of cutting them out. You can either cut them out or you can place them around. And I'm going to, the layout that I'm doing is, the other grandma of my oldest grandchild has 5 grandkids. So I have 5 little things on there, and I'll put each child on there and decorate it. And I will be, and I'll have a different title. So next Title Tuesday, it will look very similar to this, but it's kind of a takeoff from this. So, and it's also a layout that I'm doing with my customer group as a retreat bonus. So anyway, this is going to pop up. I won't do it right now, this very second. And I'm going to put this one. And I also have some more. I thought about using pumpkins. I thought about using different things, but I just couldn't get it to go. I thought about fussy cutting these, and that wasn't a go either. So what I did wind up with doing, if I can find them, I have a cluster of flowers that I'm going to put down over here, and that will give me the 1, 2, and 3. So that is my layout, and so this kind of, like I said, it's kind of a sneak peek of what we did in album retreat, and I find them very beneficial. Oops, this is what I'm going to do. So use your imagination, because I got this one, oops, this one goes here, and this one goes here somewhere like that, and so this will be my 3, and so I have my visual triangle. And so anyway, so that is my take of the Stampin' Up! Album retreat, and this was for their October layout. So and if I have if you would like to see what the album retreats layout actually looked like, I will post that also in Scrapping in my own private Idaho business page. I hope you will like and subscribe to this channel, and we will catch you later. Thanks so much. Bye.